All right, how many times have you seen someone do something really stupid, then scoff and mumble to yourself, I'd never do that? You know, a little of that righteous indignation. Maybe you were younger and real cocky and said it out loud to your peers, you know, confident in the knowledge that you were smarter than anyone else, while you laughed at the poor soul who had just made a costly mistake. Maybe going as far as to call that person out and publicly laugh at them. Yeah, get that dig in. Really make them feel as bad as they could, because you would never do anything like that. Well, I've tried to live my life as a kind and caring person, to help those in need. Maybe that's why I was attracted to my chosen line of work, a firefighter paramedic. I've seen what can happen to those of us who might want to try and challenge worse. It don't work. Worse will always get you in the end. It's probably a quote from some famous comedian. Why am I talking about this? Well, I didn't directly challenge worse, but I may have done something just as bad. In several videos, I've talked about RV safety. You know, things to do to help prevent accidents and protect your investment in that beautiful and expensive, to you, RV. It may have been something I said which was, you should always, in relation to towing a fifth wheel, do a pull test prior to towing. That's what Shelly and I have done every time we backed up to our RV with our tow vehicle since the day we purchased them.
Got both of these about an inch off the ground. Brake right here. Again, your brake controller maybe to put some pressure on the hitch. I can see we're not going anywhere. We're pulling it.
Along with a visual confirmation that the jaws of the hitch were around the kingpin and the release arm was bedded and pinned, and not once in 4+ years that we've owned our rig has there ever been an issue. That is, until yesterday. We recently preached about our system, Shelly and I avoiding distractions and interruptions, and this one time we let a distraction get between us. We were setting up to tow our 17,000 pound plus 42-foot fifth wheel when a very nice and capable man we know stepped in to help. But unbeknownst to him was that he was just the distraction that was needed to set us up for failure. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. This is not his fault. As the driver, I'm wholly responsible for the chain of events that followed and my own ultimate demise. I am the weak link in this scenario. I failed to follow my own sage advice. It was I who allowed the interruption in our routine which caused what followed. As I backed our truck up to align with the kingpin, our friend graciously offered to step in to guide me back. The jaws on the hitch were open, and the kingpin sat at the bottom of a slight upward grade to the parking lot. I backed closer. He lowered the RV into position for the kingpin to be ready for capture, but it must have been a little off when the latch and the pin made contact, as he had me pull away and move at it again as he lowered the pin some more. I went out a few feet and then back in again. We both assumed that we had captured, and he began raising the front landing gear. This is where I failed. No matter what else had happened here, if I had done what I had preached and had done every time before, I'd have saved us a lot of headaches, embarrassment, money, and downtime. I didn't do my pull test, and I've paid for it, literally. The gear was raised, and I didn't check. We did our walk around, and I had pinned the arm in place. And not once did I do the other thing that I always do. That would have saved us, and that was that I did not visualize capture, the jaws around the kingpin. In blissful ignorance, we thanked everyone there, and then belted up and slowly began to pull forward, only to be met with a loud bang and a lurch from behind. I knew immediately what had happened, but somehow was in complete disbelief. We quickly set the brakes. The almost 18,000-pound, 42-foot fifth-wheel monster had just slid out of the hitch and dropped 6 inches to the bed rails and tailgate of our beautiful F-450.
Oh, that sucks.
How did it happen? I was having trouble processing it, but I knew it was my fault. I'm just sick. I went back to the fifth wheel's control panel and lowered the front legs, and with the help of our friend, were able to raise the fiver enough to open the tailgate and survey the damage.
Is bowed, or the tailgate's bowed.
We still had a 2-hour drive back to our campsite. The tailgate was damaged badly enough that we decided to remove it. It's kind of an easy process. And strap it down in the front of the bed of the truck. The bed rails at the back of the bed were pretty well crushed, and the bumper was tweaked by the tailgate. So we strapped loose items in the bed down with ratchet straps. Then evaluated the cap on the RV. Grand Design does make a pretty stout product. We could see where the underside of the cap had rested on the rails, but could only find about a 5-inch crack in the nose cone on the curb side right at the base. We checked the hitch and kingpin, which all seemed fine. So we began the process again, this time all 3 of us visually verifying pin capture and the arm pinned into place, then doing a pull test. When we got back into our space 2 hours later, Shelly and I had been racking our brains trying to figure out something, anything, other than a visual and pull test. It was eating us up. Just how did this happen? I downloaded our video and wished I had set a camera up to monitor the capture, but I hadn't. Then I found this. After thinking we had initial capture, I got out of the truck with a GoPro to do a walk around. I could see that I completely ignored visualizing the capture, but I did see this. Look closely at the pin box and pin in relation to the hitch. Yeah, the arm is rearward and pinned in place, but look closer at where the kingpin appears to be in relation to the hitch. It looks like it's actually behind the center of the hitch plate. It should be centered, and we shouldn't be able to see any of that hitch plate. Okay, I'm just guessing here, but in my own feeble way, I'm going to offer my thoughts. When I first backed in, it may have captured, or near captured, but by pulling forward, it disconnected. Then, while going back, it may have rebounded and closed so that it then would not accept capture on the second attempt. Seeing it capture once may have led us to believe that it just did the second time when it really didn't. Either way, a visual confirmation of capture and finally a pull test would have caught the problem and prevented our disaster. Shelly and I have both agreed that in the future we will never let anyone or thing come between us and our system again. We will be polite but firm. It is our investment, our home, and deserves our full attention. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we will never go without a visual confirmation of capture and a proper pull test again. Yes, it is humiliating, embarrassing, foolish, and as many other words or emotions as you might suggest. There are no buts. I am the driver, so it is my responsibility to do the things safely. We are so grateful that no one was hurt or injured in any way. For that, we're truly blessed. We do hope that bringing you this experience will help you in your RVing life to establish your own system, checklists, and procedures to lessen the possibility of something similar happening to you. Thank you all so very much for being a part of our RVing community and for all the support you give us. We are looking forward to seeing you here again next week, right here on OLT. So please, travel safe.